Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're not already subscribed, please subscribe so that you can see the rest of my Miss Universe content. Of course, Miss Universe hasn't happened yet. You know that I'm gonna do a reaction video to the actual show, the results, and anything else that is important post Miss Universe. Hair's still wet from my shower, so please don't judge me. This video is gonna be about the girls that I didn't include in my top 20 but who were on my radar. I wanted to make this video because I try to make my videos as short as possible and to the point, so I don't want to go on and on about different delegates, why I included them and didn't include them. I like to get to the point. I had so many comments and messages on why didn't I include USA, why didn't I include Mexico, so on and so forth about different delegates. I really felt like I should make a video just talking about the girls that I didn't include and why. First and foremost, as I have mentioned in some of my other videos about what the Miss Universe organization and IMG looks for in a Miss Universe, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that we don't see. We don't know what went on in interviews, which is a huge and super important part of the competition. For some of the girls that I included in my top 20, my final prediction top 20, those girls that might not have had the best preliminary performance but had a probably strong interview, they made it into my top 20, whereas some of the girls who didn't make it into my top 20 might have had a strong preliminary performance, but I couldn't imagine as strong of an interview. Of course, I wasn't in the interview, so I don't know, but that's just my prediction. The first girl is Albania. This girl for me is just too much to handle. I just can't handle the level of over-the-topness with her, and for some people they love it. They love the over-exaggerated walk, the blowing the kisses, the butterfly thing that she was doing or whatever that was. It's just too much for me and I just don't see it aligning with the Miss Universe brand. And she might have had an amazing interview, I don't know. The judges may have loved her performance, but for me it's just too much. It's just too over the top and it's distracting and I don't get it. Australia. I almost had her in my top 20, and if you watched it, I had Australia and then I was thinking more about it and I was like, you know what, I think Indonesia is a stronger contestant overall. This had nothing to do with the whole controversy thing. I loved her stage performance. I think she's really cute. I just wasn't really sure how strong she was overall, but I would not be surprised if she was in the top 20. I mean, she's beautiful, she seems so nice, and so I would not be surprised to see her in the top 20. Couldn't decide and can only pick 20. Belgium. Love this girl's look and I really wanted to see more from her, but I just wasn't seeing it. And I don't know if some of you had her on the radar as well, but I was hoping to see more and it just didn't come through. Cambodia. I really love this girl and it's another person I would not be surprised to see in the top 20. I think she's very beautiful, sweet. I love that she's about wanting to empower other women and help other women achieve their dreams and work towards their dreams, and I think her intentions are really good. It's so hard to make a decision. Costa Rica. I've had Costa Rica in my videos, I haven't had her in my videos, and she looks very mature and I just don't know if I struggle to relate to her or something. Maybe she's too sexy or mature for me. I don't really know what it is. It's just not aligning with the Miss Universe brand for me. She's beautiful and has an amazing body and all these things, but I just hoping to be wowed by her in the preliminary competition and I just wasn't. China. I was happily surprised by China in the prelims, and her videos that I've seen are so cute. She has a great personality, she seems like lots of fun, she's very well spoken, and I would not be surprised to see her in the final 20. Barbados. She's so striking and I like her ambitions, the dreams that she talks about in some of her videos. What I think is really important about her is that she talks about wanting to see other women on top. She wants to see other women who are running companies and who are in leadership roles. So I think what she talks about and what she probably talked about in her interview would be really strong and the judges would really love that. It would definitely align with the Miss Universe brand. I'd be surprised to see her in the top 20. Cayman Islands, I really love her look. I would have liked to see more from her, hear more from her, so I didn't include her. I was kind of hoping to include her, but it didn't make it for me. She didn't make it for me. A lot of people asked me about Greece, and I had Greece on my radar and I was looking for her in prelims, but the overall package isn't there for me for the top 20. Russia. Russia is so beautiful. She's so photogenic. For me, I think it's just she's very young, and I feel like I can tell that she's very young. I think if she would have competed in like 4 or 5 years, she'd be a lot stronger of a delegate. Ireland. I wanted to love Ireland, and I tried to, and I loved her in the national costume actually, but her prelims I thought was okay, and her interviews have been okay, but I'm not like, yes, she's in my top 20. El Salvador. She looks very mature to me, El Salvador. Maybe it's, when I say very mature, sometimes maybe it's like the amount of makeup as well. I think she's well spoken. Her interview probably was really strong. I really did like her gown performance in prelims, so who knows. Japan. Japan seems so sweet. I loved her in the national costume competition. I can't believe her story about how her parents like shipped her to an island in Malaysia or something, and she had to like fish and basically like fend for herself and stuff. I thought that was a pretty amazing story. So she's very sweet, and I would not be surprised to see her in the final 20. Nigeria. Nigeria is another one that I was like really hoping to see more of, and I find her very striking. I just found her very underwhelming in the interviews that I've seen of her, and that to me is just really, really important. If someone doesn't catch my eye and reel me in the interviews that I see of them, it's just a no for me. Mexico. This is probably one of the most asked about contestants that I get in my messages and comments. People are wondering why I didn't include her. I think she's beautiful. I think she has a great walk. I like her stage presence. Just something is missing for me, and in the interviews I've seen, I'm just not wowed. There's just been something missing for me with Mexico. Again, I would not be surprised to see her in the final 20. Kenya. Kenya seems so sweet and beautiful. I loved her gown in prelims. Again, I wouldn't be surprised to see her in the 20. It's just, it can be so hard to make a decision, and sometimes it's like this person or this person, and you just kind of pick one. Last, I have USA. I have not included USA in my last several videos because I've been trying to avoid the controversy that's been happening. I've been getting a lot of messages about it, but I just didn't feel like I had a lot to say in the moment when I was being asked about it, and I thought her prelim performance was fine, and her interviews have been really good leading up to the Miss Universe competition. Even some of her interviews in Miss Universe were good. The whole controversy thing, I know that some people are saying, and she kind of led to the fact that her intention was not to be mean, her intention was not to be a bully, her intention was not to be disrespectful to Vietnam and Cambodia. When I first saw the video that says something about Vietnam and Cambodia and it being isolating to not speak English, I can see where that would have been misinterpreted. But what bothers me is that it was like, first of all, why are they even talking about the other delegates in the live? One thing if people were saying like, oh, are you friends with Vietnam? Oh yeah, I'm friends with Vietnam. Like, I really like her, great. That's it. Just the fact that it was like they were talking about their language and stuff, it just made me uncomfortable, and I didn't like it. Bless the hearts of Vietnam and Cambodia for seeming to be so understanding and forgiving. I remember seeing an interview that Miss USA did when the girls all arrived in Thailand, and she said something about that women should encourage each other and they shouldn't shame each other or be each other's critics, but rather lift each other up or something. And so this whole thing just kind of went against that, especially the talking about Vietnam and how she pretends to speak English or understand English or whatever she said. It rubbed me the wrong way. And I think part of the reason that this bugs me even more is because when I was competing in Philippines, and I remember I was really upset because I saw this video. Miss Universe happened in the Philippines, France was crowned, it was just all finished. A bunch of people started sending me this video, and I forget if it was a story or a live, but people had like recorded it and then were posting it, and it was a video of some of the South American girls. Argentina was in there, I forget who else, but for sure Venezuela was in there, and they were backstage eating like the donuts and eating food, and Venezuela said, oh, if we eat all the food and get fat like Miss Canada, maybe we would have made the semifinals. I tried to just brush it off and think, you know what, I'm so fortunate that I made it into the semifinals, I made it into the top 9, I'm so proud. Canada hasn't placed in 10 years, I'm so happy. But when I heard that, I was so hurt because I had never said anything bad about any of these other delegates. So I was just really hurt by that because I would have never said anything like that about the other girls. Like, it's no mystery that some girls in Miss Universe, they have a lot of surgeries. They might have fake boobs or butt implants or a bunch of things done to their faces, or girls have had ribs removed. But I would never say, oh, if I only would have had a boob job, I would have made it into the top 6, you know? Like, things like that I would never ever say. When I saw the video of USA saying that Vietnam pretends to understand English, and then she kind of had that laugh, and then the other girls didn't really know what to do and they kind of laughed, I just was reminded of that moment of the other girls laughing at what Venezuela said about me, and it was just really hurtful. It's disappointing to see, because this is a competition where the women should be celebrating each other and lifting each other up. It's such an incredible experience for all these women. I always try to say this, is that Miss Universe is not just what people like to call a beauty pageant. We celebrate the diversity of women from around the world and celebrate our differences rather than kind of picking them apart. So that's what I have to say about that. Hopefully that'll address some of your questions, because I've had a lot of them. I can't wait to watch the competition, and I know you guys are excited as well. So stay tuned for my reaction video to Miss Universe, because that'll be the next video posted, which is so exciting. So feel free to subscribe if you want to see the rest of my Miss Universe videos coming up, and I'll see you next time.